2025, a sci-fi thriller that will shake the cinema. The canyon arrives with unmatched power. It all begins when a man accidentally falls into a canyon. Without hesitation, Eileen, brave and fearless, puts on her parachute and jumps into the abyss to rescue him. But below, a thick fog envelops everything, reducing visibility to near zero. Eileen crashes into a raging river, her parachute snagging on the rocks. There's no time to panic. With a quick motion, she pulls out her knife and cuts the straps just in time to surface. Tossed by the current, she struggles to grab a branch and pull herself out of the water. Meanwhile, Levi, unconscious, is hanging by a branch, totally vulnerable. But a greater danger approaches. A colossal monster slowly moves toward him. Suddenly, Levi regains consciousness, and in a flash of clarity, he shoots the creature, ending the threat with a swift strike. The sound of the shot echoes through the canyon, alerting Eileen. But as Levi tries to free himself, he falls violently to the ground and becomes trapped by a sticky substance that prevents him from moving. Below him, sharp fangs emerge, ready to snap shut on him. Luckily, Eileen arrives just in time. She shoots with precision, breaking the fangs, then cuts the goo holding Levi captive. Shaken, Levi looks at his friend with admiration. She risked her life for him, but their ordeal is far from over. The canyon is covered in an eerie and threatening fog, a true deadly maze. Suddenly, a rapid movement disturbs the silence. A shadowy figure lunges at Levi and throws him to the ground. Before Eileen can react, a wild mount knocks her down violently. They are attacked by a horde of enigmatic riders with swift and merciless movements. These faceless beings seem to have come from a nightmare. Caught in a fierce battle, our heroes fight bravely and manage to take down several attackers, but one of them manages to escape. After the confrontation, Levi notices a disturbing detail. These riders are wearing old uniforms from the 1st U.S. Airborne Division, remnants from the 1940s. Could they be the mysteriously disappeared soldiers from the war? A revelation that makes their situation even more baffling and terrifying. They must escape quickly. In their race for survival, they finally reach an old abandoned bunker, where they take refuge for a moment. Inside, a chilling atmosphere prevails. As they explore the area, they come across an abandoned scientific facility. But why? A strange generator powered by energy capsules catches their attention. Curiously, they attempt to restart it, and against all odds, it activates. What they discover next defies belief. This bunker was once a secret laboratory, a collaboration between the US and the USSR after World War II. Here, nuclear weapons were designed. And much worse, a devastating earthquake destroyed the facility, exposing the scientists to unknown radiation. As a result, the fauna, flora, and even humans merged into nightmarish creatures, a contamination that irreversibly transforms anyone infected within 5 days. The urgency is critical. They must flee before it's too late. But while searching through the computers, Levi makes an even more shocking discovery. The canyon's secret project continues, not under military orders, but by a powerful biotechnology company. Their goal? To create super soldiers from the canyon's genetic mutations. Drones flying over the area are only there to collect these samples. An unimaginable horror, innocent soldiers and scientists were sacrificed for these monstrous experiments. Even worse, they discover the Stray Dog Project, a bomb hidden in the canyon, ready to destroy everything in case of a data leak. If the outside world learns of its existence, the self-destruct mechanism will activate immediately. That's when their situation worsens. Eileen's bag mysteriously disappears. A trap. The faceless riders are still there, and they've come up with a strategy. Not wanting to be caught off guard, our heroes use smoke grenades to cover their exit and move cautiously. They eventually spot Eileen's bag resting on a rock. But as she reaches out to grab it, a trap springs. A rope shoots up and grabs her foot, pulling her away at high speed. Levi, panicked, pursues her, but time is against her. Eileen is wounded, her stomach slashed by a branch. She tries to fight back, but she's out of bullets. Before she can react, her head violently hits a tree trunk. She collapses unconscious. Levi follows her trail and makes a terrifying discovery, a missile launch base. Eileen wasn't killed, but suspended high up. She regains consciousness and, in one last effort, frees herself and engages in a desperate fight with the faceless riders. but she's outnumbered ... At the last second, she grabs a flaming torch and sets her opponent on fire. Just then, Levi bursts in, gun in hand, and takes down the last rider. They must escape as quickly as possible. In an abandoned garage, they find an old Jeep. Hope is rekindled. Their escape has only just begun. They rushed into their cars, speeding towards the eastern wall of the canyon, where a zip line awaited them. They planned to use the vehicle's wheel to escape, but the soulless creatures were still chasing them, and an intense pursuit began. After managing to shake off the creatures, they began to slowly ascend with the wheel. Just as they thought they had escaped, Eileen was horrified to spot a crowd of those creatures climbing up the rope. In mortal danger, Levi made a quick decision. He broke the stock of his weapon and threw a flaming torch downwards, creating a raging fire that melted the creatures. To prevent the enemy from catching up, they cut the rope and began climbing by hand. Although they had escaped the worst, they had to quarantine for 5 days to avoid any mutations. If all went well, they would meet in a safe place in Paris. Before that, Levi had to destroy the canyon. If they weren't infected, they would reunite the following week. Levi returned to the other side of the rope to inform his superiors that everything was secure in the canyon. But his superior suddenly asked if he had activated the drone system in the canyon. Levi flatly denied it. The superior concluded that it came from the other side and ordered him to dispose of Eileen. Levi reluctantly agreed, unaware that every move in the canyon was being observed. His superior immediately organized a team to head there and eliminate them. The next day, the two were still unaware of the approaching danger, continuing their patrol. While taking a break, a loud sound was heard, a helicopter sent by their superior. Levi shouted at Eileen to run. They had to accelerate their plan. When the helicopter landed near the watchtower, the superior realized that the tower was empty and there was no one around. He then ordered drones to be deployed to eliminate them. The two fugitives quickly sought refuge in the forest. The drones soon detected Levi and began firing at him. Unfortunately, a tree trunk felled by the shots caused Levi to fall, but he fought back and shot down a drone, temporarily escaping danger. Meanwhile, Eileen easily took down two more drones. Levi moved to a safer location, mounted a sniper rifle, and managed to take out a second drone. Eileen also reached a safe spot. Then, they quickly set up their sniper rifles and shot at the radars on each side of the canyon, destroying the radars from a great distance and triggering their self-destruct mode. Their superior felt trapped. This meant the canyon was exposed, and the stray dog would initiate its self-destruction. He quickly boarded a helicopter to flee. They had only 2 minutes to escape, but before they could, the stray dog exploded, destroying the entire canyon. The helicopter didn't survive either. However, the force of the explosion sent Levi into the river, leaving his fate uncertain. 5 days later, Eileen, having avoided mutation, arrived on an island in France, at the spot they had promised to meet. But Levi never showed up. She decided to settle there. One day, she spotted a familiar face. It was Levi.